Hello, 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 hello.
Things.
I am so happy today as this is the month of August 2024. And at Connected by Heartbeat, we are honoring friendships and talking about friendships this week. And unfortunately, for many, many years, my longest BFF has been at least 4 states away from me. anywhere from anywhere from 2, 3 states to 4 countries away from me over the years. So today I bring Portia Everett on the line with us. Hi, Portia.
Would I say good afternoon and good morning?
Good morning. Yeah, all
Morning.
love it. Good night.
Greeting. Greeting. My pleasure.
Um, I'm glad that we had this opportunity. We know that we do live in 2 different states, and often we're on FaceTime or Zoom just to say hi. But this time we get to do it for a larger group of folks.
Okay.
So we can't talk about everything we
I
talk
know.
about.
Just a bird's eye view.
Yes, a bird's eye view into our relationship and our
Hmm.
friendship over the years. Um, so I always say we have a disagreement. And that disagreement is I say we were 2 when we met, you say we were 5.
Yes. We were 5. Now, if we were 2, it's possible, but I remember 5. I remember you on one side of the fence and me on the other. And that is probably next to my sister. I think that's one of my earliest memories is me and
And
just
my memory, my recollection is standing up on the pew next to my mother in church and turning around and playing with you. So just the when we went to that church, I was much younger than kindergarten. So that's
Mhm.
that's that's why I say 2. But that's our argument. Like that's
Yes.
our biggest argument through the years, right? So it really doesn't matter.
Now,
It's just
yes, at this point
um,
it's 48 years.
how dare you?
Oh, okay.
We need to edit all that out.
That's a long time.
We need to
That is
edit
a
all that
very
out.
long
Edit
time.
that out. Yeah. So Portia, before we get started into our friendship, would love for you to share about what you do. We here at Connected by Heartbeat also honor small businesses. We talk and spotlight small businesses through our connecting with the heart of your business. So tell us about what you do.
Okay, my name is Portia Everett. I am the partner for eService Consulting. We have government contracts. We provide supportive back office accounting services to many behavioral health and nonprofit organizations. We also have a catering business, F&P Catering. My husband is a chef. I'm a cook. There is a
Mhm. You is.
And we have a nonprofit organization that we co-found called the New Inspired Change, where we provide services to people impacted by homelessness. We do workforce development, training, referral services for housing, as well as assist in providing substance abuse treatment, mental health services, and other therapeutic services in the form of PRP. So we do a lot. Um, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I absolutely love being busy. I love having the opportunity to work in my skill set, but also the opportunity to work in ministry, which falls in all of those different areas, but specifically in the area of in the organization, a new inspired change. I genuinely love serving people. I love seeing people flourish. I love being a demonstration of God's love in the earth to those who are often forgotten and introducing them to their next wealthy place. Be it identifying housing, be it being able to find employment, able to find housing. I genuinely love it. I busy, but I'm happy being busy and doing everything. if you remove one component, I'm sure that I would be lost because we have been at it for quite some time.
Yes, yes, you have.
I'm
And not
also
only
a
do I
wife and a mother. I don't want to leave that out, and a
know,
grandma.
and a
So
grandma.
yes,
Yes,
and a grandmother of two beautiful children. So yeah, very busy, but I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
yes. I have definitely not only enjoyed eating the food that you and your chef husband make, but I love watching the annual um event that you put on for women and men every year around Mother's Day and Father's Day, and the services that you provide to people that are in need. It has grown so much over the years. I have
Right.
enjoyed watching it grow, but it is such a blessing to see the number of people that anew does touch. It's definitely an awesome thing to watch.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you. Thank you.
yes, love it, love it.
Hmm.
All right. So the purpose of these chats is just to talk about the friendships, relationships, the progress, the ups and downs of it all, um, disconnects, how you reconnect, and to share some of those stories that we might help someone else along the way. Not only just give them, there's so much negativity in the world, right? We're always seeing it. We turn
Yes.
on the TV, the radio, there's always something that can take our countenance down. So this friendship month, honoring those that you've chosen to love,
Yes.
right? As we all say, family, you can't help who
Yes. You
you
can't
get.
pick them.
But friends are something different. You get to pick those loves and choose those loves. And just talking about the evolution of that we might help bring some happiness to some people and maybe give them some nuggets on how to maintain relationships
Hmm.
and kind of how ours has evolved over the years. So um maybe we start out with some personal stories,
Okay.
something we remember, good or bad, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Let's just be real with the people the way we are for real, for real.
Okay.
So
Well,
I'm gonna let you start.
I think I have so many fond memories, but I think my fondest was I was sick and I was in a hospital and you drove up to visit me. And prior to that, I have had some health issues over my life several times. But the initial time that I was sick, I didn't tell anybody. And you were so hurt that I had not said anything. But I didn't say anything because I really thought that I was gonna that I had transition. I didn't think I was gonna make it. And I didn't want to be looking at people looking at me knowing
Mm,
that I wasn't gonna make it. So I preferred to just call you, and talk to everybody and deal with everybody in a space where everything was fine when I knew in my heart I wasn't gonna make it. And you were so hurt. And I felt so you was like, you would not have allowed me to even say what I needed to say to my friend, knowing that that would be probably our final conversation.
yeah,
And I could not, and I was, you was like, that's selfish. And I said, I understood. I just didn't know if I could take it. So the next time that I got ill, I did tell you, and you came up, and I was heavily sedated. I, I was so high that every time I looked at you, it was like it was the first time, and you just was like, I see the pictures. Every time, I don't know how many times I did it, but every time.
it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
So,
It was.
I have those pictures, and after a while, everybody was like, "Is she serious?" Because every time she look at this lady, she be like, "Yes." So that I think is one of my
Every
fondest.
5 minutes.
Yeah, probably about the whole time you were there, everybody was like, you just kept acting like she just came in the room every time you made eye contact with her. So I love my friend. Some people I don't even know how we do life without having a good friend. Somebody
Mhm.
that you connect with. You're not the same. We're different. Our foundation is
Yeah.
the same. But
Yes.
I love the fact that you can be genuinely honest with me. We can agree to disagree, and at the end, it's always gonna be love, and it's always gonna be prayer. And I really, like we said, 48 years or 50 years. I don't know
Yeah.
what it is, but I genuinely love having you as being a stable foundation in my life for the time that we've had. And it hasn't always been in the same space, because we've probably, from our teenage years to now, we've never lived in the same state. So it's always been before social media. We wrote letters. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
have written a letter in forever, but we went from writing letters to doing email. I still have emails that are 30 years old. Like, we genuinely have made an effort to stay
Mhm.
connected and connected by heart. Hey.
Connect. Right. Right.
By heart.
Right.
We have definitely made you. It has been times when your parents, I love them, God bless them. When I lived 6 states away, and they would
Mhm.
drive you to come and visit me, which I don't know if I've ever done that for my kids. I don't think. But the fact that you
Oh,
love me so much, and they knew that you love me so much, that they wanted us to remain connected, is special.
yeah.
So
It's
those
very
are some
special.
of the fond memories. I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember them bringing you. I was like, that was so beautiful and so precious to me.
Yeah.
And when that,
They
like,
surprised you too. Your mom knew. Your mom knew we were coming, but you didn't know.
yes. So
Yes.
I just think that I don't know how people do it without it, but I am genuinely in love with my friend.
Yeah. So I was thinking about what I was going to talk about, right? As you were talking. So I have to tell this story because I think this story for me cemented who I who we are and how I knew I wanted our relationship for the rest of our lives.
Mhm.
So when we were in elementary school, we got into a fight. And I have no clue why we fought. I fought a lot in elementary school. One time I sat down and counted up how many fights I had, and it was about 54 fights in elementary school. I don't know. I don't know what was wrong with me. And I don't know. I don't remember why we fought that day. But I do remember that it was two things. While we were fighting, I, something opened up in my mind, and I said, why am I fighting Portia? I love her. And I stopped fighting you. And then you got it one good punch or one good hit, lick, whatever it was, right? And then you realize you lost your barrette. And we stopped fighting
To look,
to help
yes,
you out all
yes.
your bows so that you would not get in
When
trouble
I
when you
got
got
home,
home.
yes, because it was gonna go down.
Like, who stopped? Like, the teacher didn't stop us. Nobody stopped us. Nobody was, I don't even know if any other people were around. We were fighting. But we stopped to look for your bows. And I was crying with you because I did
Like,
not want you
yeah,
to get in trouble.
yes, finding a
Lost
barrette.
your bows.
Yes.
And so that at that moment, even at that young age, because I don't know, I don't even, we were like first grade. I don't think we were really old at all. I think that
Mm-mm.
was like first grade
It's
or
very
so.
young.
And at that moment is when I realized I love her. I don't want to be fighting her. This is my friend. Why is this happening? So for me, that was a pivotal moment in the decision that I was going to make to love you and treat you good, for the rest of our lives. And then the second thing is when we got separated the first time. So I went, it was still elementary school, but I guess later in
Mhm.
elementary school, maybe fourth or fifth grade or so, and you moved away. And we weren't in the same school anymore. And I cried and I cried. I cried myself to sleep every night. Every day I was telling my parents, I can't find, I don't know where she is. And I remember my mother coming in my room and rubbing my back and saying, "It's okay, baby, it's okay." And then when I got to sixth grade, there was this lady, she was a janitor. And I would see her and she would always speak to me. And to me, I'm like, hey, like, why is this lady talking to me? You know? So one day she stopped me and she said, "Come here, little Simpson." And I said, "Yes, ma'am." And she said, "You don't know who I am?" And I said, "No, ma'am." And she said, "I'm PJ grandmama." And she said, "Yeah, I know where she is." Oh, and so she reconnected us. She got my, and that's when I never gonna have this happen again, right? My tears can finally be over. I
Mhm.
found my best friend again, and from that point on, girl, we walked so many walks, we rode so many bicycle
Any,
rides,
yes, yes,
places we had no
yes.
business, and we still can't tell where all we were going to this day. Some secrets we got to keep to ourselves. What we
Yes.
were doing. But I think those were long ones that you mentioned were pivotal for me and are a part of how our love grew over the years.
Mhm.
And why I made a decision to be completely intentional of you ain't never going nowhere, no, and I don't know
That's
where you
it.
are anymore, you know. Um, so I will say that one of the things that I had to learn in our friendship though was how to share you. That was huge for me. That
Mhm.
was huge for me. And I guess in high school, I didn't really care about you having other friends and stuff because I was like, oh, she don't love y'all the way she
That's
loved me.
it.
You know? But after we became adults and you started giving more and more of yourself to your causes and different things you did, um, there were experiences that other people had with you, things they experienced with you or they knew about you that I didn't know because I wasn't in the same place.
Mhm.
And in the beginning, that thing bothered me because if I'm the best friend, then how dare you go get
Remember
another
that.
best
I
friend?
remember even having that conversation, and I think that's really important too. Like being able to be honest and transparent with your friend. You have always been where I've always been more guarded. You have always been open with me about how you felt. Like I remember one time you told me, you said, "I'm not mad that you have another friend. I'm upset that you were going through and I wasn't there for you." That
Yeah,
really like was like, oh my God. Like she
yeah,
like I love her. And I know you know I love you, but I was like, she really, really loves, she don't care about none of it. I don't care about them. I'm just upset that you needed
yeah.
me and I was not there for you. And I was like, um that hit home because I was like, that's really my friend, and I'm never gonna lose that. I don't care what happens. I don't have a lot of friends. As I said, I'm like really careful and cautious. I move intentional with that. I think you're more friendlier and I'm more heart open, but you're more
Mhm.
open. And
I've
so
had to
you
grow
have,
to be that way.
yes,
I wasn't
a
always
more,
that
but
way.
me, I can count them. I can count them on my, I know who, if who and what, who's there for me. And just to hear that made me, say, I know I need to be more intentional with, even though you try to shield, my thing was more trying to protect you from some of the experiences that I was having. Um and trying to make it easy on myself because I know you're gonna give it to me. You're not gonna cut, some people can have friends and they can be smelly, they can be wrong, and their friends are not gonna say, hey, you need to go wash, or hey, you need to tighten up. You're never gonna be that friend. If there's something there and it's a room for me to be better, you want me to be my best. And I love you for that. You're not gonna let me, you're not even gonna see me fail. You not
No,
you are
because you
not
don't
gonna, you
fail.
like,
That's not what
no.
you. That's not what
Yes,
you
you
do
were like,
anyway.
no,
Yeah.
this is what you got a strategy. You got a bullet points, a PowerPoint presentation. I don't know how many PowerPoint presentations I got. You like, we need a strategy for this.
Yeah.
And where I move off of emotion, I really have been more intentional at developing and we can probably get it. I'm sure you have it on your lawn. See, you got a list now. Yes. But you have taught me to be intentional and strategic. And that's not moving away from God. That's putting more emphasis in my part in God's role for his purpose for me. And I love you for that. I really do. Even in friendship, being intentional, being strategic, being purposeful, because people need that you love need to know that you genuinely love them. And they
Right.
don't, your words mean nothing. Your word, anybody can tell you that they love you,
Yes.
but showing
It's
you
how they show
consistently
up.
over time, not
Yeah.
just one time or two times, but over a long period of time, showing, you know, that you're going to show up and you're going to be there for that person is really what demonstrates loyalty and love and allows a foundation for trust. And I genuinely appreciate
Girl, because I told you I lost you one time. And it ain't never gonna happen again. It's never gonna happen again. I'm gonna follow you. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna look. I got your mama number. I got your
Yes,
aunties. I got your
yes,
siblings' phone numbers.
yes.
You ain't going anywhere. You are not going anywhere. You've added so much joy, happiness, structure to my life. Um, and the one thing that you say I share or tell you and am honest with you, but it's all about how you do it. Like I use
Mhm.
words. You
Yes.
say, when
Yes,
I get that look,
girl.
well, the way I think about it,
Yes,
right? And I know it's coming. Like I don't even
yes,
have to be looking at you to
yes,
know what your face just did to put me in my place and tell me I'm
yes,
wrong. But
yes.
and I know what's coming, but I have to have that in my life because how
Mhm.
can I be better if those that around me that say they love me won't correct me and tell me when
Yes,
I'm wrong, right? You know, we can laugh about it, we can make jokes, we can cry about stuff or
yes.
whatever, but at the end of the day, it's girl, you know you was wrong,
Mhm.
right? Like it's funny, we made jokes for
That's
15
it.
minutes,
Yeah,
but you know you're
yeah.
wrong though, right?
I
You know
walk
you
that
had
one back.
you know you had no business with that, right?
Yes.
Um, and I think that's a part of the honesty of the relationship, and to have someone that I can be transparent with, you know. And you taught me not to be judgmental. Like I grew up in an environment that judged everything and everybody down to
Mhm.
the minute pieces
Yes.
of someone's essence. So that's what I was. That's who I was. And you taught me that by judging people or their perception that you may judge them could often lead someone to cut you out of portions of their life, to not share with you things that when they're going through things, right? So that has taught me a lot. And I have definitely incorporated a lot, so much of that. And because it's not about my opinion of someone, because then I can't help them,
Mhm.
right? If I'm always looking at you and have an opinion about what you're doing or who you are or what you did, um, then you'll never come close enough for me to help you. And I also know at this age that, honey, God's grace and mercy
That's it. It's sufficient and new
has been
every day for a purpose. It is not new every
listen,
day because of him. It's new every day because of us, because there will
we
always
need it.
be an opportunity for us to get it right. Not
Yes.
him.
And he's poured it on me so much, so how can I not have some grace for someone else? Um, how can I not have grace for someone else when God has given me so much mercy
Mhm.
over the things that I have done that I ain't had no business doing, or even if it's not the bad stuff, but just the fact of how he blesses us and has favor and
Mhm.
the favor that he allows us to have in this world. Um, how can I be so judgmental of other people? You know, because I showed them what God,
That's it.
let me know every day.
That's it. That's what I said. I said all of us are one situation or circumstance from being
Yeah.
in somebody else's shoes. And
Mhm.
that's why we need grace, because without it, all would be lost, I think. So I
Yeah.
genuinely I think that friendship um is our friendship is just a sample of God's love for each and every one of us, because it's not being everything to somebody. It's being which they needed the most at the time
Yes.
which they desperately needed, and showing up is being able to be selfless in how
Mhm.
we show up in the people's that we love lives when they need it. Because sometimes I might need you to look at me with a microscope, and I
Mhm.
welcome that, because like I said, in so many different areas, even as a parent, there have been times I've come to you in friendship as a parent saying, this is what's going on, and you like, hold up, I know you ain't. So it was a little judgmental, and I needed that, because you was like, you must have forgot I was your friend when you were 16. Come on now, So
Get that child the room.
that's it. Let them, you don't want them to have enough mistakes to hurt themselves, but you do want to
Absolutely.
allow them to have experiences so that they'll be able to make decisions and make choices, because they need to develop that as a muscle. You told me that. And I
Absolutely.
was like, you were like, I know. So, from that perspective, like I said, having a friend that could be, and welcome their honesty, and you don't look
Yeah.
at it as, I wouldn't even say criticism. I would just say a mirror. Like, I see you like that, like a mirror.
I I think even though we have a lot of honesty in our relationship, I don't think it's the I think those moments don't engulf our relationship. I
Mm-hmm.
think oftentimes you have people that are always critical of you, right? So I think it's important that we also know that there's balance, or we
Yes.
share that there's balance in our
Yes.
relationship too, right? um we get on the phone and we talk strategy and business, and hey, what are your goals for this year? For me, that's important to having a
Yes.
friend that I
Absolutely.
can talk to them, and they have goals and they're achieving their goals, and I have goals, and they're giving me ideas and I'm giving them ideas, and you're a sounding board for one another. And then there's moments where you're talking about, I achieved this, so I did this, so look at the
Mm-hmm.
kids and look how they're growing. One of the very things that is so very special to me, which just kind of, you just happened to be visiting when my daughter went to homecoming,
Yes.
and you painted her toenails. You did
Mhm.
her polish. And that was so special to me because I remember when you first went to cosmetology school way back in the day,
Yes.
right? And you done it for so many people, right? And but you don't do it anymore. Nobody can't pay you
So,
to do it anymore.
yes.
But you did it for my baby, and I got to watch y'all have that interaction and have that moment together. And I just sat back and took little pictures, and just smiled the whole time because it was just beautiful for me to see the two of you sharing and you loving on her,
Mm-hmm.
because I know you truly love her through the love that you have for me.
Yes.
And so for me, that was so good. So there's definitely a balance to what we do. We ain't always
Definitely.
arguing and
Yes.
criticizing each other. But there is a lot of sweetness in our relationship,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of laughter in our
A
phone
lot of
calls.
laughter. till you cry, laugh. Like we gets it in. We do. We have
Yeah,
a lot of laughter. I would
yeah. And I think, yeah,
would mirror that too with Xavier. Like he'll say, you know, I was having a bad day, and Miss Jessica texts me, and it just, I'm like, it's just love.
it's just love.
It's all love.
It's
It's
love. Yeah,
genuine.
yeah, yeah. So if we had to leave a message to anybody that watches this about why, I think we've talked about why we feel like friendships are important, but I think one of the main things, I do want to say this: everybody is not always in your life for the same time period that you think they're going to be there
Right.
for. So when you have harmful relationships, you really shouldn't do things to try to keep those people close,
Mm-mm.
right? Because there are times that you connect with people that you should not be connected with. But when you have a true relationship and a true friendship, someone like you do for me, that you pour into me the way I pour into you, and we're sustaining that friendship through the years. When there is conflict, when there are things that happen in the relationship, I think very often people find it difficult on knowing how to navigate their way back to the relationship. So I would love for us to maybe give them some tidbits on how to reconnect with people that they may have lost the connection with. And I'll let you go first.
Okay, I would say that um if there is love there, I don't think there's a connection lost. I think navigating that process is feeling safe. Do I feel safe with this person? Because you can love somebody and not trust that they have your best interest at heart. But I know without a shadow of a doubt, you are not going to tell me anything wrong. So even if it's not what I want to hear at that moment, your delivery has been all over the place, because you have, sometimes I have needed that, and then sometimes I needed that hug to be like, it's okay, but don't do that no more. And however it was presented,
True.
I knew you had my best interest at heart. So I never really had to like lose connection or gain connection. I just had to sit down with myself and say, she loved me. She not gonna tell me.
Mhm.
And um to reconnect with somebody that you maybe there's been distance or time or a situation that came between you, if you in your heart of hearts know that that person is a safe place for you and they genuinely love you, the reconnection is not going to be forced, and it won't even take work. um it'll be what is the word I'm looking for, where it's like it's natural. It's
Mhm.
it's a word I'm looking. It's on the tip of my tongue, and it's not symbiotic. It's not that word. There's another word that I'm looking for, but it would be very natural. And it may take time, but it's being intentional, being strategic, and being consistent. Those three things across anything is going to be effective. Um, I know my friend loved me, so I
Yeah.
won't. She could be mad. I don't care, girl. Get yourself together. We gonna be, look, what we doing? Where we going?
Yeah. Get over that. Let's go.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's keep it
Yeah.
moving. Not addressing whatever the issue is, but sometimes the answer is there is no answer, and we just gonna move forward because I know she loved me, and that's all that matters. It's almost
It's
like a marriage, where you reconcile to yourself that we're gonna be together. Either you gonna be with me or we gonna be together. What I mean, that's it.
whichever one. You choose
Whichever
whichever
you
one
pick
you want.
one.
It's
You
up
gonna
to
be with
you.
me or we gonna be together. Yeah. So there's no other option. So I think that the reconnection would be and being intentional, being strategic, and being consistent. And if that person shows you that there are those three things, there's absolutely nothing that could separate you two. Now, if the person has demonstrated that they are not safe, they are not consistent, they don't show that they're intentional about the importance of your relationship, they may have been in your life for a season or for a
Mhm.
reason, and that's okay.
Mhm.
But there are those people that are in your life. I make a conscientious effort to never lose those relationships on this side of glory.
Right. Right. And I think for me, I think I would tell people that forgiveness is important. I
Mhm.
often even tell my children, you don't even like yourself every day of the week,
Mhm.
right? You might love yourself, but there's
Right.
some decisions that you make.
Yes.
There's some
Yes.
decisions that you
Like,
make that you just don't like. That you're like, oh, why did I do it?
yes.
So I think forgiveness is important in every relationship. I think saying I'm sorry
Mhm.
and sincerely meaning that I'm sorry. Because even if you're close friends, you're gonna step on each other's toes from time to
Mhm.
time. You're gonna say something and you really didn't mean to say it just like that, or they misunderstood what you meant. And sometimes, especially if it's text messaging, you know, sometimes you misinterpret how they said it. Somebody was multitasking or whatever. Pick up the phone. Don't just sit over there and be upset about what they said. Pick up the phone and say, girl, what,
Mhm.
what did you say? I didn't understand your message, right? It felt like this to me. But I do think that forgiveness is huge. Because again, if I go right back to what I said about grace and mercy, God has forgiven us
Yes.
so many
Every day.
times.
Yes. Many, many times.
Yeah. Yes. So I do think in order to because I forgave you for having other friends.
Yes. You
So
did. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't have been able to move on had I not forgiven you. How dare you have other friends outside of me? Um, so I do. I think you have to be open for forgiveness and you have to have transparent conversation. And I
Mhm.
think that's what we've talked about a lot on this call, right?
Yes.
We don't I know there are times that I've wanted to share things with you. And I may not have shared it right away. And you've already talked about how you didn't necessarily share things right
Mhm.
away. But when I did, I knew I could, like you said, come to a safe place.
Mhm.
And at the same time, you were going to, it wasn't always that you slapped me, you
Mhm.
know? And in a lot of those cases, you told me to forgive myself. Like there have been, plenty of plenty of times.
Mhm.
It's yeah, plenty of
Yes.
times that you have said, hey, the God I serve,
That's it.
so you need to get over that because if he forgave you,
That's it.
move on and keep moving forward. Don't let that thing still hold you where you no longer live,
Mhm.
where you no longer stand. So I do think forgiveness is important, and I think it definitely is intentional, and we have to love the relationship more than we love being angry, being mad,
Mhm.
being
I'm gonna stand on
disgruntled,
this. I
sad.
don't stand on
Yeah,
anything except the foundation. Anything else is pivotal. We've seen things, people come and go,
yeah,
and I trust the foundation that we've had. I feel like
yeah. Me too.
we got time in. I don't know how.
Yeah,
Um, I just say it is definitely one relationship that I'm thankful to God for the
me
consistency
too.
and the friendship.
Yeah, me too. And I love you.
Love you
My Pisha. Now I shouldn't even say it online because not
Yes.
now other body better ever call you
That's
that,
it.
and you better not answer to
Yes.
it. But yeah, I have always, will always, and happily forever
Mhm.
love my Portia, my PJ, my Pisha. So
Mhm.
um, I thank you all for sitting in with us as we talked about our journey and our friendship. I hope that you have some friend that you have decided to love intentionally and on purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and that you can pick them up and give them a call and talk about some things that the two of you have experienced and share some laughs about some things that you may haven't thought of in
Yes,
years.
in years.
Yes. So comment below. Let us know about some of your experiences. Tag your best friend and come over here and show some love because friends are definitely connected by heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yes. Love you, girl.
Love you too. Have an awesome day on purpose.
Yes.